Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. You guys, my name is Chi Dominica. If this is the first time you're seeing this face, you're highly welcome. Stay tuned to the channel, like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Okay, so you guys, I usually bring videos regarding UK immigration, travel vlogs, how to migrate to other places, the Caribbean, etc. So if these are the type of contents that you're interested in, you're highly welcome. Now, today, you guys, I'm going to be telling you guys the latest updates towards dependent visa application. Okay, these are the new changes that they've made. So if you've applied for a dependent visa before, you were very lucky, because right now they've just added a lot of things, and it has made a lot of people to start running up and down, start looking for answers, start finding solutions to some things. So even if you're a newlywed, even if you've been married for a while, there's there's a very high chance that, or should I say, there are chances that these new updates might still affect you one way or the other. So today I'm going to be telling you guys, the latest updates, the changes that they've made that's on the website. I'm going to also be inserting pictures here as I read them through and explain them to you and tell you what to do. So, but if you want to get, full details out of this video, you have to watch it to the very end. Okay, so let's start, you guys. Now, so guys, if you want to apply for the dependent visa, now the very first question under the section that concerns us in this video was this an arranged marriage or civil partnership? Now, if you're actually married, I don't think you should go and start picking that, oh, it was an arranged marriage, even if it was an arranged marriage, because some arranged marriages, they're actually real marriages. In my tribe, for instance, people just tell people, oh, I have this daughter, that family will be like, my son is ready to marry, and they marry, especially back then in the days, it used to happen a lot. So even I think some Asian tribes as well, they do arrange marriages, and these marriages work out. So the only thing they are trying to rule out here is the fact that you guys are not claiming to be married. So if you're actually married, even if the wedding, or should I say the marriage, started out as an arranged marriage, you should have other proof to show that you're married. Okay, now civil partnership, on the other hand, is when two people who they've not actually had like a wedding, but they went to the court and they signed some documents. So if you have your marriage certificate, you've done your white wedding and all of that good stuff, this does not apply to you. Okay, so that's the very first question. Then the next one says documents in both of your names. Do you have two documents in both of your names to show that you have lived together at the same address for the past 2 years? You need to provide a document for each year. Okay, now the first one there says tenancy agreement or letter from your landlord, mortgage agreement or evidence of property ownership, utility bills such as council tax, electricity, gas, or water, bank statements. Now, bank statements could be joint account or your personal account. Other bills such as your phone bills, television license, other official documents showing that you both have the same address, like driving license, pay slip, medical letters, HMRC letter. Now, some people were confused when they read this part. For instance, something like your television license, okay, your HMRC letter. Now, you know that there are people who are already in the UK trying to bring over their spouse from other parts of the world. Those type of people would have this. If, for instance, you and your spouse, you guys are still back home in your home country, you're not expected to have your HMRC letter, for instance. So they're saying you should have two documents out of all of these documents. So do not be worried about the ones you don't have. Once you have any of these two to show that you guys have been living together in the past 2 years. Now, let me even also mention that the UK government, people who are not even married, they usually migrate over to the UK. So what they want to see is proof that you guys were actually together, or you guys actually have a romantic side to this, union that you claim to have. Because if, for instance, maybe one partner has to live in a different country and the other partner, maybe because of work, is written somewhere in one of the websites, so it's okay, but you have to prove to them that, okay, maybe at some point, maybe when you rented your apartment, you also put your partner's name there, and for so and so reason, you guys were not living together. So whatever it is you're saying, you should have backup. If you're saying you guys are not living together, but you rented this apartment and both of you rented it, but maybe you travel for work or something like that, you should write it in there. You should prove it to them as well. Then, like I said, they also grant, I'm going to touch on that towards the end of this video. I'll show you guys where, they actually even grant visas to people who are not married. So how much more you that is married? I expect you to have at least one or two of these documents, okay? for you to show them. Now, if you don't have it, I'm not sure what is going to happen, but I expect that people who have been married for up to 2 years at least, you should have some sort of bills together. The problem is that some people are just married, but they don't own things together. Some people don't even, as a married couple, there are things that you should do together to show that you're actually together. E.g., create a joint account. Both of your names will be there. Secure properties together. Keep the receipts of these things so that you will show. Even if you're not married as yet, if you're in a serious relationship, it would lead to marriage. Because, for instance, you're about to get married to somebody in the next 2 3 years, and you guys open a joint account today to say, oh, you're beginning to save for your wedding. If you get married, let's say this month, and 3 months from now you decide to apply for a visa, in as much as the marriage is not even up to 2 years technically, but you have documents showing that you guys have been together for longer than 2 years, you can as well submit them, okay? So, you guys, at this point, first of all, let me give you a disclaimer. I'm not an immigration officer, but I can tell you categorically that in as much as you're just newlywed, if you have any of these two documents, I think you should go for it, okay? Now, so let's go on to the next one, you guys. The next question says, living together for the last 2 years. Have you lived continuously together for the last 2 years? I would advise that whatever answer that you're giving, just be very honest about it. If you've not lived together, state it there and do what I've just mentioned. Like, attach every other proof that you have, your reason for not being together. If it's that, oh, you're not allowed to stay together, but you guys have been dating for the past 2 years, you can as well attach all of that, okay? Now, the next question is proxy marriage or proxy civil partnership. First of all, what is a proxy marriage? It's a marriage whereby it's when one or both parties are not present at the ceremony and are usually represented by another person. Now, in my tribe, for instance, as well, sometimes people go to get married. Let's say one of the spouse is living outside the country and they send family members to go and marry the spouse on their behalf. So in this case, they want to know, if you say you're married, is your marriage a proxy marriage? Do you actually go to do the wedding yourself, or somebody did the wedding for you? The same thing with your civil partnership. Sometimes if both the husband and the wife, they might not even be around to do the wedding, and the two families just do it on their behalf. So, start of marriage or civil partnership, the date that you started the wedding, when did you get married, when did you enter a civil partnership, you just put the date there. They want to know that as well. Then, relationship with your partner. Are you and your partner married or in a civil partnership? Okay, like I said, civil partnership, I'm going to put a definition right here on the screen from Google for you. It doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, you guys are not together, but you're not actually married, but you guys went to the court, signed some documents to show that, okay, this person is your partner, you guys are involved romantically and all of that good stuff. The next one says marriage or civil partnership certificate. Obviously, if you're married or if you're in a civil partnership, you should have a certificate that shows either of these. Okay, if in your case you don't have it for some reason, then I'm not sure what you would provide to them, but they are requesting that you should provide one of those documents to show that you're actually married or you're in a civil partnership. Now, that's the last question for today. For now, I'm going to go ahead and read out some of the things that was said in the documents that governs dependence, the application, relationships, and all of that. And also the link to this document, like the full link to this document I'm about to read to you guys, is going to be in my description box. If you want to read it after now, you just go ahead. I'm also going to insert the parts that I'll be reading out to you guys here on the screen. So, you guys, this document governs dependence in the work system, okay? Now, let me tell you guys something. Like I said, people who are, because I've seen a lot of questions where people are like, oh my God, we're newlywed, so does this mean we cannot apply because we're newlywed? No. The answer is no. You can go ahead and apply, okay? But they just want to see proof, because according to this article, listen to this, requirements for a durable relationship where a person is not married or in a civil partnership. If the lead applicant and the person applying as a dependent partner are not married or in a civil partnership, they must have been in a relationship similar to marriage or civil partnership for at least 2 years before the date of application. They can demonstrate their relationship by providing evidence that they have lived together for 2 years before the date of application. This can include bank or building society statements, council tax, utility bills, residential mortgage statements or tenancy agreements, official correspondence, or documents that that link the lead applicant to their partner and show that they are living at the same address. So you guys, then there's also another section that says relationship. The following requirements should be assessed in the round. Evidence of meeting one requirement will often show the relationship meets the other requirement. If you doubt the evidence provided to meet any of the relationship requirements, you may request an applicant attend an interview. So if they are not convinced, they might interview you, they might invite you over for an interview. Now, you guys, to wrap this up, let me just quickly mention that they are not saying, oh, because you're newlywed, you cannot apply. The summary of everything I've been saying since is that not because you're newlywed, you can't apply. If you've been together for up to 2 years, you have bank statements, you have other documents that will show that you guys have actually been in a relationship, you've been together, you just got married recently. Because come to think of it, sometimes even after, let's say, you get engaged, it might take you another 1 year before you guys do the actual wedding and all of that. So all of that will count if you actually have things to show that you're together. Now, as a Nigerian, most people, like I think I mentioned it already in this video, most people will not technically live together even while you're dating, but it doesn't stop you from actually, having things together to show that, okay, this is the person that I want to be with, this is the person I plan to be with. So in your case, there are some people that they've been married and they don't even have these documents. So some people would say, oh, I cannot open a joint account with my partner. So this all comes down to like personal differences. So if that's your case, you've been married, you don't have all these documents, that's a different story altogether. If you have these documents and your problem is that you guys have not been married for up to 2 years, you should definitely go ahead and apply and just prove to them that, okay, you just had your wedding 6 months ago and you guys have been together for the past 3 years, for the past 4 years. And you should also attach other things that you would normally attach other than these things that they're requesting for: pictures, itineraries of traveling together, messages, all those things that people would know. It's better that you give them more documents to convince them than they start looking for something and they cannot find it. Okay, so try to prove that you've been with your partner as much as possible. This channel, we support legal things here. So if you've actually been together, I'm sure you would have documents to show them that, okay, this is how long we've been together for. We've been married for 5 years now. If in your case, love at first sight, because I've seen this happen a couple of times, you guys just met a couple of months back and you got married, and let's say within 1 year you are traveling. Within 1 year of meeting each other, you decided to travel. You guys just got married last month and now you want to bring your wife over. I think you should do certain things with patience, because right now, if it was before, you might be, not even you might, you would have been able to do that. Okay, once you have proof, you didn't put this whole 2 years mark to the whole thing. But with these right now, just focus on building time together, a longer duration together, and keeping all these things together to show that you guys are actually together. But if in your case you guys have been together longer than the duration that you're married and you can prove it, I think you should go ahead and apply. Okay, this is just my personal conviction on the entire situation. You are welcome. So you guys, this is where I'm going to end this video. If you have any further questions, feel free to send me an email. I'm going to put my email address here on the screen, and follow me on Instagram. You guys, like, share and subscribe to the channel. Okay, ciao.